Hey there, Stony Creek families. Welcome to Virtual Curriculum Night. Thank you for stopping by and watching my video. If you are here for regular Gov, then this is the video for you. I have really enjoyed getting to know my students so far, and I look forward to continuing on this journey throughout this semester. In this presentation, I'm just going to talk a little bit about myself and a little bit about the class before I let you go and move on with your evening. Without further ado, let me share my screen and get started today. My schedule looks like this semester. I have first hour prep. So if you ever need to get a hold of me, bright and early, 7:30 to 8:30 is your best bet. And then I teach 3 sections of AP Government, a section of World Religions, and obviously this U.S. Government class. It's a little bit about my family. Mrs. Book is a teacher here at Stony. She previously has taught math and science. Now she's an instructional interventionist this year in a brand new role that she's super excited about, as opposed to kind of taking on her content and teaching 38 students at the same time, like you see the 38 chairs behind me. She's kind of got a chance to be doing what all teachers love to do, why we got in the profession in the first place, and that is connect with students on an individual level, be able to give them that direct instruction one-on-one, that direct attention, and help with some soft skills, some life skills as well along the way. She's super excited. Mrs. Book and I met here while teaching. We were married in 2015. We rescued Dobie, which is the Beagle Hound mix there that you see on your screens. We had Breslin, and she is now 6 years old and in first grade. Kendall is 3.5, and Landon, pictured here, is 17 months old. We loved our summers together. This summer was amazing. We traveled a lot, did a lot of day trips when we were local, and just made a lot of memories. So we were excited to get back to work and get back into a routine and get our kids back to school. But we certainly cherish the memories that were made this summer. I've been teaching for 13 years, and I'm a product of this district. So 13 years here at Stony, 12 and a half, one half of a year at the virtual campus during COVID to help get that school started up. But I went to North Hill, Brooklands, Ruther, and Rochester High School, where I graduated in 2006. Then I was off to East Lansing, where I was in the honors political science program. It's a small residential college that is on the big university's campus. So MSU has a record enrollment this year, 51,000 undergrads, which at times can feel a little overwhelming, especially in the classroom, huge lecture style classes. That wasn't necessarily going to be my jam. So I found something that made the big university feel a whole lot smaller from an academic perspective. I was a member of the Michigan State Marching Band. I played the trumpet. I was the section leader for the IZone, which is the student basketball cheering section, front row at every single home game, as well as 2 Final Fours my junior and senior year. Loved the big university feel from that perspective. But my class sizes in my major were 15, 25 students. And that was absolutely what I needed personally. So as we get into junior year and we're thinking about our students' sort of future in academics, if we're looking into big universities and we're a little nervous about that, please reach out. I can give you so much more information about these smaller residential colleges at MSU, but U of M, Ohio State, Penn State, Syracuse, a lot of big schools around the nation have these types of programs. I student taught in 2011 at Utica Ford, was hired here right away at 22 years old. And then I got my master's degree in educational technology while studying in Dublin, Ireland, one summer, and in Galway, Ireland, another summer through MSU. One of the best experiences of my life was traveling abroad. I love to play golf. I bleed green and white. I love traveling with my family, going to concerts, and I'm a big musical theater guy as well. I coach 8th grade girls basketball at Hart in the fall right now. I also coach 7th grade boys basketball in the winter over at Hart. I previously have coached the girls here at Stony, as you see some familiar faces probably in this picture. And previously, every other year of my career, I've directed the musical theater program here at Stony Creek in the spring. But just the time commitment is just too great, and I got to spend that time with my family while my kids are this young. I can't miss out on this time. So I turned over the baton to one of my former students, who I'm so excited to take over this program. If you have any clubs or student organization questions, Mrs. Book and I are the two to reach out to. We are in charge of the organization of all the clubs and student organizations here at Stony Creek. I am going to change the gears here a little bit and share some other things with you all about the class before we end our video here today. So this is my digital syllabus. Hopefully you've seen this by now. All of our students were required to get some parent signatures saying that you guys looked over this. In this class, we are going to be taking on the 7 units that you see featured here: Foundations of American Government, which is where we are right now; the Constitution and Federalism, which is that tug of war between state and local politics and the federal government. Then we'll be looking into the lawmaking branch, the legislative branch, the enforcing branch, the executive branch, as well as our role in the world affairs and foreign affairs. Then we'll go into the judicial branch, looking into the Supreme Court and how cases climb the appellate ladder to get up to that Supreme Court. Then the American political process and how our students can play a role in that, as well as individual rights and civil rights. So those things can be boiled down to the bullet points here: the principles behind American government, the American political process, the 3 branches, state and local governments, and then our role in the American system. The most important takeaway from this class is that in one semester, we're going to fill the toolbox of our students to help them be more educated citizens of the United States. We're going to do all of this in a variety of ways: lectures, discussions, classroom debates, a ton of different labs or activities here in the classroom, some daily assessments, as well as some formative assessments and summative assessments, unit tests along the way as well. My email, the best way to get a hold of me is my @rcs-k12.us email. So sbook@rcs-k12.us. My first hour prep, so bright and early between 7:30 and 8:30. Please reach out to me if you have any questions. I have a straight grading scale. 45% of the grade comes from quarter 1, 45% comes from quarter 2, and 10% from the final exam. When it comes to late work, I need to make sure that my students are checking routinely the Google Classroom page about deadlines. I keep my grades updated, other than during the first 2 weeks of school when I have a lot of grace with extending deadlines. But after we get into the routines, we should be able to meet these deadlines, especially in my regular Gov class, where the deadlines are way longer than they need to be, and I give my students way longer on the assignments than I do in my AP courses. So this is something that I'm going to hold my students accountable for a lot this year. Some of the big classroom rules and expectations: be authentic, be kind, be flexible. Most importantly, to have some grace and humility and patience in this course. That is so huge. In the back of my room over here, you'll see what I call my phone spa. I do collect my phones. I believe it's become too big of an addiction for my students to be able to concentrate on the lessons that I need them to learn. That doesn't mean the phones will be collected all hour long. In the beginning of every hour, my students do a survey, a daily survey, to kind of check in, read the temperature of the room, see what they're coming in to my classroom with in terms of what they're carrying in their backpacks, emotionally, physically, mentally, etc. So they have their phones out for that. They put their phones up when they finish that survey. Then they can have their phones on them towards the end of the hour once I dial down my lesson. Those are my biggest classroom rules and regulations. And the biggest thing is that, especially in my regular Gov class, is that my students just know the value of honesty and communication. So I'm going to try to fill their toolbox with some college-ready skills, some soft skills, and also hoping to help them become more responsible citizens and more knowledgeable citizens, to be completely honest. The class has gotten off to a great start. I look forward to continuing to work with your student throughout this semester. Thanks for stopping by. Have a great day.